Hey, gorgeous manifestors, take two. I'm not sure what happened there. My phone just crashed. It's never done that before. Well, not during a live anyway. Right, so good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're good. I felt drawn to come on a live this morning because I've had a few people asking me what I mean when I talk about lining up the energy before you take an action. And I've also been messaging someone, a lovely lady in this group, she'll know who she is this morning, and again just trying to briefly coach her through lining up the energy before taking an action. And it's very, very key in everything you do, but particularly powerful around money, because it's really important when you spend money you don't have angst around it, because you're going to attract more of the same. So lining up energy when you're going to take a big action or you're spending money is really, really key. And so what do I mean by lining up the energy? So, for example, I bought a car last week and I looked at it a few days beforehand and I really liked it. It was very much manifested. There was only one in the entire country and that one happened to be about half an hour away from me. Hi Marie, sorry my angel, my phone just dropped out, the whole thing just crashed, so I'm on again, take two. So yeah, the car, I had been visualizing the car, it's on my vision board. I test drove it a year ago, although I wasn't looking at getting it then. It was very much like it was on my vision board, but I was always holding it in the future, which is why it took so long to manifest to me. Anyway, I went to the showroom, car showroom, sat in the car and just immediately knew that was the car I wanted. And because I was in peak manifesting state and I was ready to move with it, everything moved really quickly. So it was the only one of its kind in the country at the time that was in stock. It was in stock only about half an hour away from me, and the company, because they were really behind in their sales, gave me a massive discount, like much more than friends and family would normally get. And they threw stuff in because they didn't realise it was part of the package. So I signed all the contracts and everything. They're like, oh gosh, all of this comes with it. We'll just give it to you for half price if you're happy to do it. And obviously it was like really nice stuff that I had spec'd up when I had test driven the car like a year or so before. So it's all the stuff I wanted. So it's very much like a manifested thing, but there was still that icky feeling within me of like, it's a lot of money, blah blah blah. And I knew I needed to sit with it for a couple of days to line my energy up correctly, because I did not want to commit to that car without my energy in the right place. So what that involved me doing was just sitting with it for a couple of days, doing, I don't know, like key things like my finance spreadsheets and that kind of thing, and looking at where money was coming from, and just getting comfortable with it all, basically. And then by the time I took the inspired action 2 days later, my heart was singing. It was a very expansive and exciting feeling. I was literally squealing around the office. None of you in this group, I think one of you works with me, and on the Friday I was actually squealing around the office and messaging my boyfriend and screeching to the girl who sold me the car, who's also in this group, who I think totally thinks I'm bonkers. So when you're taking an action, when I mean lining up the energy, it's got to feel expansive and exciting. And this can be with anything. So another example, I want to write a book at the minute, and I've written the first chapter, but I haven't got into the zone for writing the rest of it. And what I don't want to do is just write it because it's on my to-do list. I want to write it when my energy is in the right place and it's exciting and it's just flowing. Because unless I put the right energy behind it, I'm going to throw it, I want to throw it out into the universe with the right energy behind it. It's a bit like when I sent the press release out to some media. I waited until the energy was lined up around it, because literally you can take action, you can cross things off your to-do list, but if they're really important and powerful things to you, it is so much more effective and everything just flows much more easily and with much more success if you're doing it from a place of where your energy is really lined up. And that quite often just means sitting with something for a while and just, I don't know, I was doing things like, this is really weird as well, I was listening to Abraham Hicks. So I was just doing an Abraham Hicks Lucky Dip, which I know I've spoken to a few of you about. Go onto YouTube, type in Abraham Hicks and see what comes up. And the day before I committed to the car, I listened to an audio that I'd never heard that I'd never heard before, and I listened to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and they were specifically talking about lining up your energy to buy a car. I mean, if that's not the universe talking to you as well, I don't know what is. But again, it just really helped me. So doing things and allowing yourself to line the energy up before you do something is really important. And there's a couple of you thinking about coaching with me and that kind of thing, and all I can say is follow your inner guidance. That's always right. You know what's right and what isn't. And if you do decide to go ahead with anything you commit to, hey Jennifer, whether you decide to go ahead with anything you commit to, whether it's finances, whether it's a job, whether it's, I don't know, a house, whether it's whatever it is, a relationship, if you're making those decisions when your energy is expansive and it feels exciting, the universe is always going to have your back. It always is going to have your back, and it will just work it out. But you've got to get your energy lined up first, and only you know when that energy is lined up. No one else can tell you that. You know when it's right. And for some people it can take a couple of days, other people it can take longer or less time. Just always follow your inner guidance. You know what's right for you. No one else knows what's right for you. It's your inner guidance, and that's why it's very important to listen to your inner guidance. And then if you feel compelled to take an action, get that energy lined up first before you do it. So I hope that offers some clarity on it, but it's so powerful, and it's just always served me well every single time I've taken a big action if I've lined up the energy first. A bit like when I invested in my business coach, I lined up the energy first, which meant that when I actually made the payment to her and committed and signed on the dotted line, my heart was singing and it felt expansive and it felt like the right thing to do. And it was almost like the worry about the investment just disappeared into the background. I invested, let it go, and as soon as I let it go, the money came back in 2 days later. And that's how the universe works. So it's just so important you line up your energy before you do stuff, basically. So I hope that helps and answers your question. I hope you all have a lovely Wednesday. I am having a lovely day today, writing an article for a magazine that wants to write about me, so that's really exciting. And yeah, just doing some bits at home really. So I will stop waffling. I will love you and leave you, and have a gorgeous Wednesday. Mwah.